So the Pentax K1 unboxing. We have 5 reasons to choose Pentax. Heavy duty construction designed for all weather shooting. This is one of the major ones. The fact that some of the Nikon and Canon reviewers have said that with a splash of water their cameras died and the camera company has done nothing about it. The Pentax has videos online of it being used in very dangerous conditions, difficult conditions for cameras, and then washed off actually in a sink, and that's been very impressive. Obviously it's not something you'd actually want to go and seek out to do with your new camera, but it's nice to know that it's possible. Shake reduction mechanism compatible with all Pentax lenses. The 5 stops of in-body stabilization apparently is actually better than the VR lenses and the non-stabilized sensors of normal cameras. 100% field pentaprism viewfinder, well that's not really a reason to choose Pentax. I think a lot of manufacturers have got the same thing. Compact lightweight lenses for easy portability, again that's not a Pentax thing. For example, Fujifilm is probably better for that. Large range of K-mount lenses compatible with APS-C and full-frame sensor cameras, well that's definitely not a reason to choose Pentax. The selection of lenses for Pentax is actually quite limited. There are some limited lenses, prime lenses, but generally the Tamron rebrands or the legacy lenses, the range is not going to be as compelling as, for example, Nikon, Canon, and even increasingly Sony and Fujifilm as well. But the construction of the Pentax, the 300,000 rated shutter, the durability of the camera, and the in-body shake reduction, both very good reasons to choose Pentax. K1, and there's a few features about it, but let's ignore that. Let's actually get to the main beast itself. There we go. So, K1 here, quite a small box, and we have our promise. Wish to be a companion to form important moments in your life, always with you. It's nice. Thank you for choosing Ricoh Imaging, because of course Pentax is now a brand name, and Ricoh have gone through it. Pentax special offers Adobe Creative Cloud. Well, Adobe have given us 20% discount for their Creative Cloud. Obviously, Creative Cloud is amazing, but the support for the Pentax K1 features is not entirely there yet. I'm thinking about the when the pixels shift. We've got manuals, we've got warranties, we've got things like that. Exciting stuff. Okay, next step. A well thought out box. You know, the box is definitely fine. Here we have the charger. Good, nice compact charger. Light, it's very light actually. That's my first thought about that. A very light compact charger, excellent. These little bits of metal, are they going to break off? They are retractable into the body, standard normal connection, that's good. An exciting Pentax strap. I don't understand unboxing videos really, but there we go. So Pentax, it's a strap. There's not really much else to say about that. We have the eyepiece cover feature that I never use, but apparently helps when you photograph with extraneous light. An enormous cable for the charger, excellent. It would be nice to have a smaller one for traveling, but I prefer the longer cables. A Pentax battery, good. And the actual mummy itself. Beautiful. Look at that. Fits very well in the hand. I thought about getting a grip. My hands are fairly big. This is what it looks like. My little finger is sort of off the edge, but it's nice and comfortable anyway. The grip is very deep. It's not, I suppose with a lens it would balance better, but I can hold it with one hand quite comfortably. The dials feel very nice. The ISO is in the right place, spatial compensation. The dial here to change the settings, excellent, very well thought out. This is nice and stiff. The mode change feature with the locking and also the unlock, excellent, very, very good. It's a nice looking camera. The screen, this is probably the only time I do this, but yes, the screen is tough enough to hold the camera. Tilts in various directions to avoid specular reflections when you look at the image, or to photograph under skirts or up over crowds and so on. It tilts down about this far, tilts to the side about this far, tilts to the side about this far. Importantly, the dual SD cards. The battery, the SD door feels nice. The remote release, well actually I'm probably going to be using that with the Wi-Fi feature of the camera, but you've just got a standard remote release there. Good doors, nice bit of rubber there. A nice bit of rubber there actually, nice and thick. HDMI, USB, and then the DC in 8.3 volts. That's going to be fiddly to put back in. There we go. And then different doors for the headphones and for the microphones. The K1 is not designed really for video, but it will do video, and it's got the external ports for microphone and headphone that you'll need to do proper video. On the front we have the standard flash connection, which for example the D750 doesn't have. Again, that's useful for legacy flashes, studio flashes and so on. Nicely with autofocus and manual, autofocus mode, etc, etc, and locking features. Good, okay, let's go to lens on it. Lenses that I decided to go with, there was a 24-70, and I opted instead for the 28-105 that's apparently as sharp. It's slightly slower, but with the in-body stabilization and the half price of this, and the fact the other one was made by Tamron and then rebranded for Pentax, and obviously changed the coatings and the seals, I thought that the 28-105 was going to be the better option, not least because it's going to be a lot lighter and smaller, so I leave it on all the time. With the Nikon that I had before, still have actually, the 24-105 from Sigma was the one I used all the time. This is smaller, it's lighter, and it hasn't got the 24, it's slightly less wide, but it's a nice looking lens. It's also weather resistant. Pentax have all weather, AW, and weather resistant. The weather resistant is less dust, sealed against dust, but again, it's going to take a couple of splashes of water. Nice stiff zooming. It's not going to move down unless I push hard on it. Nice, good grip. Focus is quite loose. And then you have the weather seal there. 62mm filter, obviously a lot less than the normal zoom lenses. So I have just a normal BW slim polarizing filter over there. This is going to be on Pentax most of the time, pretty much 90% of the time. And then I also have a few manual lenses to play around with. I have one that a friend bought me, a guy called Rui, great guy, very much into, very knowledgeable about the manual focus lenses for Pentax. So here we have the 50mm f1.7, lovely smooth manual focus lens, looks good, and again is very, very small on that body, so that's going to be nice. We have the 55mm f1.2 Porst, which feels nice, looks good, is amazing at wide open, very, very shallow depth of field, doesn't work properly on the Pentax yet. And then we have the Cosina 24mm macro. It's very, very close focusing, small, light, manual lens. Haven't tried it yet. We have an 80s looking beast of a lens, a 90mm f2.5 Tamron. I've got the 2.8 modern Tamron for Nikon. It's very, very sharp, so I've got a good expectation for this one. Autofocus. This is manual focus. This is the 200mm Pentax f4 200mm. Whether it's going to be nice or not sure. Haven't had a look. The aperture is stepless, which might be useful for video, and apparently the bokeh on this lens is very good. It's an M42 mount with a separate Pentax mount on the back. Cheap as chips. We'll see what's going on with that one. So, K1, 28-105 most of the time, and these ones just to play around with. The focus peaking on the K1 was one of the major features that actually convinced me to shift over. The Nikon doesn't have that, so it's going to be exciting to be using manual lenses properly again. Also, the fact that the Pentax have got the button at the back to automatically set the focus in manual mode, very, very useful, and the beeping to confirm the focus. So the K1 has got lots of features that I'm going to have to dig into and get involved with and understand, so that I can really get the most out of this camera. It's not something like maybe some of the, I wouldn't say Sony's got so more menus, but it's not something like a Canon that you can really just pick up and photograph with. There's an enormous amount of features and menus and things that you'll need to dig through with the Pentax to really get the most out of it. So that's it.